Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. We've got a 4v4 for you cats today, and no extra little bits of information to take up your time before we can crack on with the action. So let's head on over to the game zone. It's going to take place on Wonder, so let's see how these guys are going to get on. So, taking a look at the teams up here, we've got Team 1. Down here, we've got Team 2. We'll see how they all stack up. Up here at the top, going Aeon. In the white corner, we have SC Account. I know he spelled his name backwards there, but that's purely because he likes to make my life a living nightmare. Next on Team 1, going Cybran. In the yellow corner is BC's Rage. We get him in shot there. There we go, busying away on a T1 land factory. And team member number 3 of Team 1 is GFY's Depony. He's going silver, or grey rather, UEF. Sorry, it didn't come out there very well on the table. I won't make the same mistake again. And last but definitely not least, up here at the top right, going red Cybran, we have BC's TEP, and he's busying away on some land spam as well. Looks like he's got 4 land factories queued up. Over to Team 2 down here. At the bottom, going Baby Blue Aeon, we have Clan Tag's Sin, and he's going land, and then, is that second air? No, it's third air, I think. No, second air, sorry, excuse me, and then third land. And number 2 on Team 2 is Linksmius, excuse me, and he's going kind of teal UEF, and he's strutting towards the middle with his ACU there, going to go and grab some map control as soon as possible. Team member number 3 of Team 2, down here we have Just Rain, and he's going electric blue Cybran, very fetching colour that is. And down here, last but not least for Team 2, we have Folly's BTS, he's going UEF, get him in shot there, there we go, and he's busying away on dual land factories as well. So that's how the teams stack up. I don't think I've ever cast one on this map. You see it played every now and again. Wonder, as you can see, very obvious no man's land boundary running down the middle. This is where you get a lot of conflict going on, and this is why we're also seeing a reasonable amount of UEF in this match. Obviously, point defense shields going to be quite crucial in a game like this. Already seeing the first 2 guys get into the center of the map in terms of the danger zone. We've got 2 UES, we've got the Pony up there on the left and Linksmius down here, and they're busy just getting as much reclaim as they can before the real fight kicks off. We're getting a few fracas here and there with some early land units. We've got a Mantis out here from TEP. He's going after forward engineers and mass extractors. He's also got an accompanying mole with him. Down here we've got a forward engineer from Rage as well. He's busy getting some reclaim. Lots of reclaim to be had in these mini craters running down the center, and it's also quite interesting because, of course, the center's pretty open. If those little deformations in the land surface weren't there, it would be just all-out point defense war and probably quite a static, dull map. But as a result, they create interesting little channels. You've got to be particularly careful with where you place point defense to get the maximum benefit. Now we've got a little engineer coming out from Just Rain. That's going to run into Depony's ACU and have a very bad day indeed. Just Rain is also way forward with his ACU getting right up the front. We're also seeing some units come in from Depony now, trying to work on getting some of that middle map control. It's going to be a real land grab right off the bat in this one. Depony's ACU was being pinged. I'm not sure who by. It was a red ping, so I'm assuming that was Team 2 alerting everyone to how far forward his ACU actually was. He's going to be safe for the moment, of course. At minute 4.5 in this game, there's not a great deal going on, or a great deal that can really threaten an ACU. Get a little run-by happening here from Folly BTS. He's got some strikers into the side pocket around the map, causing some issues for Rage, but he seems to have it under control now. He's dispatched a few Mantids to deal with it. And then over on the top right, we've also got a little bit of a run-by attempt from Linksmius, but that's been defeated by a large group of Mantids from TEP. He's had to pull back as well. And still the units streaming over on the left-hand side for Folly. Might actually be able to kill some build capacity here. He's working on it with these 2 rear strikers. Should slow things up a little. Eventually they're going to go down, but not after they get a few kills. Do some nice work there for him. And now these Mantids from TEP are pushing south. Linksmius is trying to get it. But you can see what they've talked about with the relief of the land. In fact, all of his shots from his ACU were getting blocked there. Just Rain is coming in to deal with it as well, but luckily for them, they all have a decent amount of units. And meanwhile, the spam, or not really spam, but small group of units that's left is pushing sort of southwest, heading towards Folly's side of the map. Also accompanied with them, we've got some of Deponi's strikers heading south as well. So real jostling here at the opening to this match. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it works. Folly's actually on an upgrade. See what that is in just a second. A few Mantids left, they're going to go down as they run into a few of Just Rain's units. We've actually got some bombers out as well from Tiep. Getting a very nice bombing run there, picking up 3 engineers from Linksmeus, all crowding round that T1 land factory. He's not going to get a second pass as Tag Sin comes in with a few interceptors to clean that up. Of course, it's a very much Seaton syndrome, this map. Back player probably going to be the guy in charge of air. We've already got T2 air on the plate for Tag Sin. And how are we doing back here for SC account? Not as yet. No T2 air as yet. So air initiative could potentially go to Team 2 at the beginning of this, but we're getting quite a big engagement down here over on the right-hand side. We've got Cerberus turrets going up for BC's Tiep, so he's obviously made the transition to T2 tech. Also got Linksmeus' commander on a T2 upgrade. I'm guessing these upgrades are more than likely going to be the T2 engineering suite, because point defense is going to be so crucial on this map. That would make the most amount of sense. And it's looking like a little of attempt of a run by here from all of this Mantis. Most of these units seem to be Lobos over on the right. There's a few strikers coming in now on the left, which is why Tiep's managed to grab so much traction in this fight. We'll also see Folly is pushing up a little bit, getting more than his fair share of the middle. The ponies coming south sort of to meet him. So we've got a nice little run by here from Just Rain. Might manage to pick up that Mex if he's lucky. Oh, just manages to grab it while reinforcements turn up. A little bit too late from Deponi, but a nice little run by over here on the right-hand side from Tiep. That's heading to the edge of the map. Could potentially take out a bunch of mass extractors too over here on the side. There's also some build capacity on a reclaim mission down here. He can pick up another engineer there. Is going to survive purely just by luck. Really, he'll have a story to tell his little robot grandkids if he gets to the end of this war, which is very unlikely. Folly just working up there like a boss with his commander. He's got a triad in place, so it's obviously the T2 engineering suite as we expected on that commander going down. That will allow him to hold on to this, and that's definitely more than his fair share of ground in the middle. We've got some units coming in from Deponi, but of course there's a second triad further back. Should be able to deal with him. It's a nice placement ahead and behind of those two craters, but that run by on the side is still going from Tiep. It's gone right the way around the edge of Linksmeus' base, picking up yet another mass extractor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mass extractors down on that attack, but the front is looking a little bit more secure now. Linksmeus has managed to get 3 triads in place. That's busy bombarding the Cerberus turrets at range. Obviously no intel coverage at all. We've got a little bit of a snipe going on. Oh my goodness me. Mercied by Tag Sin. Tiep ejected at 9.5 minutes. Just caught that and nearly missed it. So Team 1, the first team to lose a member. That's not looking good for them at all. Nice snipe there. Indeed, there's a couple of Mercies left. So Tag Sin rushing the Mercy snipe. That's why we had such an early T2 air factory. Interesting to see if he manages to keep up on the air game. SC account, how are you doing? Are you even matching on tech at all? Not for the moment. It's all looking rather quiet up in the white edge of the map. Now there's a very vacant hole on that side of the map. It's going to take all of the collective effort of Team 1 to come out ahead on this one now. These triads at the front, built by Folly, just working very nicely, taking out engineers on reclaim missions. Spam that heads too far south. Bam! Is it in range of this one? Yes, it is. So, how many kills is that on now? 25 kills, all looking very nice. It's a great big line. You see the sort of coverage that he's got on that. It's a pretty significant field of range. You could do with another 1 or 2 in there to secure that. Nice the fact that he's got a shield in place as well. Team 2 taking advantage of the fact that Team 1's just lost a member. Can get in there, actually links us with these groups of units on the side. There is some for him to worry about here from Depony, although it's not all offensive units in terms of ground. Someone's got a couple of archers in there for anti-air. If he can deal with those, there's an awful lot of build capacity that he could sneak through on the right. The question is, what kind of intel have they got? Take a look at the radar coverage. None whatsoever. It's a little bit too early for those kind of T2 stuff. But so many vulnerable engineers, and he seems to have spotted them. Trying to get a few units in there now. This will really slow things up. Team 1 trying to spam up a plasma cannon ASAP. It's the right move from Depony. He needs to slow this down. If only there were a few more Lobos in this mix. He's got a couple in here now. He's going after that T1 PD, and it goes down immediately before he can get it up. Has that problem all the time, so the girlfriends tell me. Excuse me. Depony getting mercy snipe now, or at least an attempt on it. Not quite enough, I don't think, from Tag Sin. Taking him down to 8,000 HP on the comm. He's got to back up and get to safer territory. Just Rain is also very far up with his ACU. Team 2 being very aggressive indeed. Sin turning into a sniping demon, not managing to finish that off, however. I think they finally managed to secure the right-hand side. Lots of units now on the field for Team 1. Depony, seems to be the majority of control of that group. And Linksmius is sort of retreating. He's kind of feinting to do a little bit of micro and trying to avoid some of these shots, but he's probably going to lose them if he doesn't bring them back soon. But it seems to have done his job. There was a lot of build capacity that went up there. It slowed up the expansion back into that side of the map. But look how far forward Just Rain is with his ACU. And Linksmius, actually, at the same time, he's very far forward. Got a real point defense creep going on here. If he can continue that on in towards the middle of the map, Pony could be in real trouble. But they've got a reasonable amount of spam on the field. We've actually got some Vipers in play. The T2 mobile missile launcher for Cybrin. They're working on Folly's forward base, who's continuing his point defense creep. The question is, what kind of range has he got the back range of those Vipers in? Yes, he has. So if that Triad doesn't go down, he should be able to take those out if he's focusing on the right things. T2 shield gen's about to blink back on. Just doing it in time to save that intermediary Triad. Just Rain very forward indeed. I'm not sure who was pinging him. The SC account, congratulations, sending congratulatory messages out to Depony for holding on to that right side from that little push from Linksmius. Of course, the problem is they've now got even less ground to work with. 3 more Triads up on their side of the map. Continuing this point defense creep very successfully indeed. Still, the Viper spam continues. He needs to increase his firepower inside that shield, or get some more shielding up to deal with it. Those Vipers are out of range for the moment. I think that forward Triad is about to go down. Indeed, there it goes. So Team 2 just lulling a bit, and this is the dangerous time. You've got your opponents on the ropes. This is the time you really need to be pushing. I'd like to see Linksmius take a few of these units and just do a little bit of a run by. There's a hell of a lot of vulnerable mass, and he can see that now. He's got an interceptor flying around. Yes, there's a group of units here, but surely just a few expendable units. He's even got some T2 Riptides down here, which is an interesting choice. I wonder why he's not going for Mongoose and Pillar. There's no real need to be building amphibious units as far as I'm concerned on this map. That's an unnecessary expense. He should be building Pillars and Mongoose and just sending small pockets of units up around the right-hand side. And yes, you've got a few plasma cannons in place, but if you can get some Lobos in that mix as well, you should be able to deal with that. It's well scouted, obviously, because of this interceptor, as I was saying earlier. But still, the bombardment continues, and Folly needs to get a handle on this. He's trying to build buzzkills as best he can, but it's not going particularly fast. There's an awful lot of Vipers now stacking up on this side of the map for Rage, who's really outranging him quite heavily, but there's only one Cerberus turret under there that I can see. Oh no, sorry, excuse me, there's 2 more Cerberus turrets out to the side, so a rush now would not be ideal. But he's also getting some of his own flapjacks in, some UEF mobile missile launchers in to counter. and that's could be quite interesting. There's a lot more shielding here for Foley than there is for Rage. He's also going to push with a bunch of his Lobos. He needs to take out these Cerberus turrets first, which it looks like he's working on. Firing shells away. And now he's changing and going after the Vipers. Takes out one Cerberus turret, another Cerberus turret goes down. There's one more for him to worry about. This radar here would be an excellent target of opportunity. Cut down that intel. Nothing really happening on the right-hand side of the map except for a continuation of point defense creep. But we have T3 land units from SC account. He's come into the mix with Harbingers, and they should be able to breeze through this little attack from Folly. It's consisting of nothing except T1 spam. There are a few hoplites on the field for Just Rain, but they also won't be able to offer any real opposition to the Harbingers, I shouldn't think, except for that brick. I did not see that. So Just Rain also having made the transition to T3, and he's now retreating with it. I think the brick is going to go down, but he's dragged the Harbingers into Triad range, taking sort of alternate fire there, but a lot of Harbingers on the field. So this game suddenly bursting onto the T3 scene with a vengeance, literally waiting for no man. We've got some loyalists up here from Just Rain as well. I'd like to see them go in and take some of this stuff out. We've also seen that these Triads have gone to work on those plasma turrets and some of these mass points. So still Team 2 managing to make inroads into the territory of Team 1. Currently no real answer for it. One Harbinger a little bit too far forwards, taking unnecessary Triad fire. Minor mistake there. Suddenly Count notices it and withdraws. It takes some micro to keep it alive though. That's what he's doing. And still the Viper spam continues over here for Rage. Trouble is there's also Flapjacks on the field now. You can see those for Folly firing back at him, and there's a lot more on the field as well. More shield gens going up too, but we're getting some artillery fire coming in now. Over here we've got a Trebuchet, so we've also got T3 land on the field for Rage. Interesting to see if he can keep up. Who's going to win this base war that's going on right now? You generally favour UEF, but the fact that Rage has now made that transition to T3 and is getting Trebuchets on the field. You see another one rolling in now on the left-hand side, just rolling up next to those Zappers. He's about to deploy, and if that continues, this could be a problem for Foley. He could do with getting some of his own. We've got a nice little run-by happening now with the Harbingers from SC account. He's made it right into the back. Got one interceptor very low on fuel there from Linksmius. Tiet telling his team posthumously to scout for experimentals as best he can. He is managing to make some pretty good ground. There's a Triad going up here very quickly indeed. Now, so these Harbingers could kill some of this build capacity down here. There's also a very vulnerable T2 P-Gen that Linksmius doesn't want to lose. Now he's just going to work on all that build capacity. It's like genocide down there. Very nice pickup if he could grab that recently constructed P-Gen. Nice little work. It's amazing how he's managed to get around there. He's obviously come in around the edge of the map down here. Still this bombardment trade-off continues down here. Another little side base going down at the bottom. Cerberus turret going up to defend. A couple of units coming in to try and harass, but they're going to get minced. We've got a T1 PD back here and Cerberus turret in front. Still those Harbingers alive, and still they're looking pretty good actually. 32 kills on one, 43 on the other. Two mass points up here are out of reach currently. We've got a strap bomber out for Sin. He's going to go to work on them. Nice shocker there. So he's made the transition to T3 Air, and you can see he's got a lot of them as well. So T3 Air, well, I'd say it's in the hands, but Count's been busy as well. He's also on T3 Air, and he's been producing restorers alongside the ASFs, the Coronas. We're actually seeing a little bit of engagement here. Deponi has managed to get the shield upgrade on his commander, and that's going to give him some decent defensive and offensive capabilities. He's firing away to deal with these bricks, using overcharge very nicely indeed. He's managed to halt the next phase of this point defense creep from Linksmius, who's actually withdrawn his commander right back here to try and deal with these Harbingers, I think. Finally, he's got T3 land. He's got a Percival on the case. Percival, if he can run down that Harbinger, which he stopped for some reason, he should be able to deal with it. But oh, looky, this is still going on. Quite interesting to see who's going to get the better of it. Look how many trebuchets he's got on the scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6. And that, I think, is going to be far too much artillery for Foley to contend with. So he's actually managed to lose that position. I think he's withdrawing his commander as we speak. He knows that he got on it too late. He's got a demolisher down here, but just didn't get that up in time. So he was withdrawing, slightly yielding a little bit of territory. And he's getting a few units in place. Finally, that Harbinger's gone down, but a whole new breach of Harbingers down here in the middle, coming in towards Just Rain's base. Shock coming in over the top from Sin, taking out a few of them. Just Rain is there with his ACU as well to assist with the overcharges. So Strap Bombers having quite a nice run in this so far. And the Count getting the drop on some loose ASFs at the front, picking off a few of them. Get the feeling this air battle or air game in general is going to be really crucial in this one. We've got a whole bunch of restorers coming in now. They're being pinged by Team 2, going straight after this battery of TAC missile launchers, which are firing their volley because they know there is no way they're going to survive the rest of the evening. Going straight after the Pony. They've obviously been working on him for a while. A couple of buzz kills in place. Takes down the shield, but doesn't get any more traction on that firebase. So the Pony sitting pretty for the moment. And now suddenly things not looking brilliant for Foley's under quite a little bit of pressure as we reach the 22-minute mark. Restorer is still alive over here on the left. Sin definitely not quite as many ASFs in the sky as a Count. Needs to step up production. Going to go for a pass on these gunships and try and take them out. A Count not paying as much attention. Perhaps he doesn't want to take any unnecessary fire while he's over the base, and he was just letting it go. We've also got some spearheads in play from Foley, who's still trying to work out a solution to beat his Cybran counterpart up here in a base war. Always the issue when you're UEF, that's for certain. And the SAMs go off, picking off large groups of ASFs. That was an unnecessary pass coming in to try and pursue some of the ASFs from Sins, but I think Sins actually managed to lose quite a few interceptors, or sorry, ASFs in that engagement. And suddenly, despite losing a team member, things not looking so bad for Team 1. They forced both Just Rain and Foley back onto their side of the map. They managed to get a decent run by down here with some Harbingers. And now Lixbius is being borne down on by a hell of a lot of Harbingers, but a beautiful overcharge there. Takes care of about 4 in a row. Sickness. And with some assisting Percivals, that presents no real challenge for him at all. So he deals with that threat nicely. But still, doesn't feel like there's a great deal on the map this side since this point defense creep has been pushed back. He's got a few Percivals up front, but it's largely open down here. A little bit of a Percy push as well from Foley. Looks like he's heading left, taking so much artillery fire we can't actually see through the haze. Cerberus turret down here goes down. It's an awful lot of Percivals for very little gain. He might pick up a couple of T2 mass points potentially, though even that's not clear yet. And look at this little Harbinger hiding up on the mountain. Love it. Cheeky git. But look at the air control that a Count has got. We're actually seeing a downgrade. Swift winds being produced. Either that or they were... Yeah, no, they're still being produced out of this second T2 factory. Sin doing everything he can to get back on top of this air game, but it could potentially have lost it for good. All the Count needs to do now is stay on top of production, and he could have just secured the air game for his team, which is so important, especially when you're down a man. But most of the extra mass, though not teched up, it is currently in the hands of the Pony for the moment. who's busy securing the front. That's a nasty, grisly-looking firebase in the middle, equipped with buzzkills, triads, and ravagers. Probably do just a little bit of anti-air, and then he's got the big three covered. And they don't even need to be bothered. They're just hovering over the base, these ASFs of account, hovering over Lynximus. It just is no anti-air to speak of. You could really do with building some SAMs. Of course, SAMs X amount more deadly since the last patch. I think they also knocked off some HP as well, if memory serves. So yeah, 7,000 hit points instead of the, whatever it was, 8 to 10,000 or something ridiculous. Unnecessary amounts of hit points for single T3 anti-air structures. Actually seeing some assistance come out from Rage, or at least a bunch of engineers have been donated to Rage to assist with this Fat Boy that's just been started by Depony. That will make this edge of the map, or the center of the map, very much more dangerous indeed. But they are actually behind in the experimental war. We've already got a megalith approaching that side of the map. First volley of artillery goes out, snags 2 engineers on a reclaim mission in the middle. Still, this T3 mobile arty war continues, and it still looks like Rage is winning it. But that could be about to change. We've got the Megabot, the Crab, coming in, assisted with bricks and a whole bunch of bangers as well, so give him some nice coverage. Of course, such a nice counter to the walking experimental or the gunships, but if they're equipped with anti-air mobile flak, it's so much more difficult to actually deal with them. Finally, we've got some SAMs in place for Lynximus. I keep forgetting it. Lynximus. Lynximus is quite a tongue tie to pronounce. But we've also got a GC advancing south from account. It's heading right towards the middle of Team 2 section, straight down the throat of Rain. It'd be interesting to see if they redirect that Megabot. Looks like that's what they're about to do. Crab is firing away. Now we're getting some troops mobilizing down here from Rage. And that's a real miscalculation. Accounts GC is just eating fire and not returning any. We've also got Percy's coming in from Folly. And that GC has actually had to bug out. That's a bad day at school. But that Fat Boy is now online, and that will be able to provide some standoff cover. That Crab is getting constantly swamped. He's also strayed into Ravager range from Toponi's firebase, who's started another Fat Boy. So it's definitely moving into the experimental stage. Raged has bugged out with his commander. Wise decision. You don't want to be standing there when one of these turns up on your doorstep. And he promptly pops all of those trebuchets that have been making Folly's life so difficult for the last 15 minutes or so. If that Megabot could grab those T2 power gens, it would have been nice, but he's not going to manage it. Promptly going down. But we've got Shockers coming in for Sin as well, going straight after that T3 power, or not, going after the commander actually, who was in line with that T3 power gen. Gets a nice blink on that shield just in time, saves him from losing unnecessary hit points. That could have taken him down into the red potentially. And now we're seeing the return of the GC. That megalith threat has ended. No doubt there's going to be another one soon. Indeed there is. It is already a third done. Also getting some units pushing up now from Lynximus. A whole bunch of Percivals in the middle. I think the better idea would be to strut them around the edge where there's a lot less damage potentially from these Ravagers stationed in the middle. Obviously they want to break this firebase from Depony, turtling like a both right now. But they've done a nice job down here. They've broken that little firebase from Rage, who was giving Folly all that trouble with the trebuchets, but they've also dumped a great big pile of mass on his doorstep. No doubt we'll see some engineers coming in soon to reclaim. I think there's one on his way now. That could get Rage a nice chunk of mass very quickly indeed. We're also seeing another GC, this time from Sin. It's heading north as quickly as possible, and the GC from Account won't be able to deal with it. He's well into the red, 22,000 HP, well beyond his means. And that second crab is now online for Just Rain, and no doubt he will send that straight into the fray. Big scouting run for Account, looking for other potential issues. He seems to be going mass strap bomber now. He's secured the air game, or he feels like he has at least. He's got enough ASFs for the moment. Airlifting huge quantities of engineers up to the front to get their hands on that mass promptly before this GC turns up. And now that GC is focusing in on the GC of Account, but he's actually going to lose because of all the Ravager fire and the fat boy sitting there just piling artillery fire into his face. And we've got some engineers on a reclaim mission for Folly. If they go any further forward, they're undoubtedly doomed. And Folly has been kind of relegated into the side. He's been pushed up against this rock for extra cover. That will cover a little bit, give him some range and some cover from the left-hand side, stop him getting artilleried directly, but it's not looking terribly secure. And a hell of a lot of strap bombers on the field now for Account, who's probably looking for a snipe at the 30-minute mark in this game. Bringing it right down here at the bottom. You see those engineers moving forward, taking a lot of fire from that fat boy, and they're going to go up unless they move, which they don't, and they do. Which they don't, they do. It made sense if you listened to the first part. It really did, I promise. And finally, that GC is doomed as that second crab comes into range and swats it down. My goodness, that's a lot of strap bombers. We'll take a quick look at how many he's got there. 15 strats. That's more than enough to break through any of the turtles that's going on. And ASFs have been dispatched, so it's obviously been spotted, but there's no way he's got enough ASFs to deal with Account's protective duty of ASFs, who promptly all take off and go after them off map. Landed strap bombers and a big ping going down from Team 2, who spotted it. What ASFs are left for Sin are trying to shoot down those strap bombers that are landed, but he's got none left. Along go the wave of spy planes looking for a commander to snipe, and they will have obviously chosen Sin, which makes sense when you think about it. He is the guy doing the air, and if they can hold on to this air game, they can probably take the game. That's how they're thinking right now. Crab focusing in the middle, going to go to split screen to focus on the two battles that are going on. We're going to have the strap bombers coming over the top of Sin's commander any minute, and that crab might actually be about to lose against that GC up at the front. Bombs away though on top of Sin. He goes down ejected at the 32nd minute. A few strap bombers still alive from that as well, I think. Meanwhile, that crab drops down. We've got a dead GC here up at the front. I'm not sure whether that was the earlier one. This GC is alive, but only on 5,000 hit points. If we can get a few personal shots on it, it will go down. Be a good idea to change it up, I think. Oh my goodness, 2,000 hit points. Somebody kill that GC. There it goes. But the problem is, of course, for Team 2, is that might as well be an alive one. It's right there, and it's so easy to get their hands on it. Lots of engineers in the area for both Depony and Account. And now we got a little push from some Percy's, but we've got a megalith operational for Rage. It's just standing there. It's the one real piece of kit that he's got right now. His base never really recovered from that last attack, but he's used what mass he's got from the dead experimentals to build 1.5 crabs. There's another one going up reasonably quickly over on the left-hand side there. And still, Account committing to the strap bomber play. It's worked very well for the meantime. Now things looking slightly dicey for Team 2. They've lost their air player. And despite it being even on numbers, this is a grisly-looking fire base that's been built for Depony. Got Ravagers in there, lots of Triads, and a Fat Boy to top it all off. Plus got a couple of GCs who are just gardening. So Team 1 definitely playing the turtle game for the moment and just kind of striking out with air units when they need to. Bump that back up to +2 and let these guys get on with whatever it is they're going to get on with. A little bit of engagement now from some restorers for Account. He could potentially pick up a few shield gens here over on the left-hand side. Fatboy strays forward a little bit to grab some of the reclaiming engineers. But once again, look at all of that mass that's available to Team 1 through those dead experimentals. And this is the danger, stranger danger, if you're going after your opponents with experimentals. You've got to be prepared that if they die on the front lines, you are gifting the mass. Huge pass going overhead from a Count. Doesn't seem to have quite as many strap bombs ready. I tell a lie, he's got a whole wave of them coming in from the top, heading south at great speed. Who's he going for this time? Going straight down the middle, going straight after the crab, in fact. They're going to take an awful lot of combination fire from Flak and Sam's. Just Rain's base is a lot nastier than Sin's was. Going after some T3 power, takes out 2 of them, but loses a bunch of strap bombers in the process. I'm not actually sure how helpful that was. So nicely defended there from Rain. All of these guys need to be really dumping down mass and energy into those SAMs. It's going to be what they're trying here, but we've got 2 crabs and a Fatboy. That is artillery hell right there. Taking a look at what that looks like from the ground. Oh no. Fatboy down though, however, for Team 1, but those 2 crabs still alive and kicking. Both shield gens depleted. A couple of Percivals up at the front there taking fire. One goes down. They want to try and take out those shield gens to make this a useful journey. Remember, of course, as I was saying earlier, want to be dumping unnecessary mass. If they can avoid it, they need to make this pay. They need to break this little base. For the moment looking pretty good, but there is a crab right here for Just Rain that trains its main guns down onto the right-hand megalith from Rage. A whole lot of flak coming in as well, and another crab as well, so it's going to be 2 on 2, but it's all going to come down to who primaries what. We want this new one coming in for Team 2 to primary that one, and I think he will still get out on top. First couple of volleys open up, but the shield gens that are in place as well are also going to block a few shots. Finally that one goes down, and now it's 2 on 1, even though that one's in the red. And knowing he's not going to get out of there or kill any of the experimental bots, really he should be working on these units down here to try and maybe even taking out these shield gens. He's not going to get it out there. He might as well make it count. Look how many engineers though up at the front. 3 GCs just strolling around from a Count like it's cool. More strap bombers circling around the edge of the map. And a Soul Ripper online as well for Rage, who seems to be hovering over on the left-hand side with it. Strap bombers coming in, bombs away. Oh, talk about overkill. 1 T1 engineer pickup there. Couple of strap bombs, slightly unnecessary. And not enjoying the amount of SAM fire he was getting off that. Turns around and tries to find another easier entrance onto that side of the map. Of course, now we've got 2 crabs that are more or less on Team 1 side of the map in terms of mass, but there's a Soul Ripper coming in, and Foley's ACU is very close, and there are 4 SAMs, something like that, in place, maybe 5. If that Soul Ripper was committed now, I think he can probably kill Foley, especially since he's having power issues, shields blinking on and off, but of course benefit of vision is what we have, so it's Rage to know that. Oh my god, go and attack, attack. He's not going to do it. He's heading back north. 3 megabots on the field now though for Just Rain, trying to stay out of range of these Ravagers, but holy potatoes, Batman, look at all the GCs heading your way. Account has been very busy indeed. Comes in with a little run with some strap bombs, takes some flak fire. Now Soul Ripper coming in as well. It's an awful lot of bangers on the ground and some skyboxers as well, but he's coming in at exactly the right time, the time at which the GCs make contact. Manages to snag the engineers working on that wreck. Oh, that's so many Galactic Colossus. That's disgusting. March of the giant machines. One megalith down, one GC down. Strap bombers in overhead. We've got Fat Boy Fire coming in. Soul Ripper coming back in. Got dual Fat Boy Fire coming in. In fact, another megalith down. Screen shaking all over the place. Third megalith down as well. Still 3 entirely healthy GCs. One looking a little bit peaky, and Soul Ripper in pretty good shape. So it's not looking ideal for Team 2 right now. Another megalith coming in. So much mass on the ground here in forms of experimental wrecks, but now they're taking lots of Fat Boy Fire, and they're just kind of stuck. They're spazzing out. They don't know which way to turn. That micro could potentially have cost them unnecessary amounts of issues. We've had a little push over on the right-hand side from Liximus. Sorry. Apologise, dude. I can't remember it. He's working on the side there of the pony's base with some personals, but hasn't managed it. And nice quantum gateway there for the pony. Going to be helping getting some more build power up at the front. And now some of this Colossus down here just doesn't really know what he's doing. They need to be working on these engineers, which they get. Nice snag there. That will be limited amounts of mass that the pony is receiving out of that. So some good Fat Boy Fire there. New Crab coming in. Should be able to deal with this GC, especially with the Fat Boy Fire coverage. GC down. Another GC about to go down on around 4,500 HP. Kennels and Reclaim, says Account, which is an excellent idea. That will help the pony get to that. And finally that GC goes down to Fat Boy Fire. Then there were 2 GCs and 2 Fat Boys, and another Megalith coming in. Another Fat Boy up here. Another GC coming in. We've got Restorers up here on the left-hand side. More Strap Bombers queuing up here at the back. And still the plan continues. Build Megaliths and send them in. Airlifting engineers up from the back. Just Rain trying to get his hand on some mass. It seems to be what everybody's doing these days. It's definitely fashionable. Drop engineers in, watch them die trying to get mass. But it's really a necessity at the moment. 40 minutes now gone in this game. Just Rain drops those engineers off. Needs to get harvesting ASAP. Strap Bomber wave coming in. We've got a ping going down on Foley's ACU. Slowing time down. This is going to be close. There is a decent amount of shield coverage. It depends how many Strap Bombers we've got. Foley's on the move with his ACU. Stopping slightly overhead. He's okay. He survived that one. But the Soul Ripper is still alive with 241 kills from Rage coming across the map. Homing in on Foley's ACU. Taking down a shield gen as he does. Was thinking about potentially going after a Sam there. I think that's a mistake. Oh my god, kill the commander. Now he's redirecting. There are no ASFs on the field for Team 2. It is now Soul Ripper versus Sam, going back up to -1. Foley down to around 6,000 HP and plummeting. He's microing as furiously as he can. There are Strap Bombers right here. Why he didn't come in for another pass, I don't know, but I think it's because he realized he didn't need to. Foley goes down at minute 41.5. Very nicely played. And now Team 1 looking very strong in this game indeed. That is a broken edge of the map. Question is that Soul Ripper still alive? Yes, it is. 253 kills. So that has paid for itself. Soul Ripper's looking really strong these days. Very fashionable. I'm sure many of you will have watched the other game with Depony, where he deponied the entire team with the Soul Ripper on Canis 4v4 Special Edition. If you haven't watched that, check it out. I think it was a couple of casts ago. Very entertaining game. But another wave of Strap Bombers coming in now from Account, taking out 2 experimentals in that pass. Beautiful work indeed. And heading back towards the middle of the map. Liximus trying to use what range he can with that Fat Boy. Engineers heading south. Trouble is now for Team 1, all this mass is very firmly in the center. They've had it quite easy up until now because of the amount of experimentals Team 2 had previously been throwing at him, or at them I should say. It's a lot of mass that's been deposited up there. But not so much now. Now it's really hard for anybody to get their hands on it, but Just Rain is giving it a go. That little airlift of engineers getting some of that mass. What's it allowed him to do is the question. More megabots is what it's allowed him to do. Another 3. He seems to permanently have 3 crabs on the go at any one time in the game. But there's just as many GCs, crabs, soul rippers and stuff on the other side too. Is that soul ripper still alive? Yes, it is. 253, 40 hit points a second. He is regaining. Won't take him too long to get healthy again. Another wave of strap bombers coming in now from account, going after the lead megalith. So many, and losing Tag Sin and air control in this game has really hurt Team 2. Account has been bullying them with the air. Looks like Just Rain is trying to get a handle on it himself by building ASFs. Should think that he probably could be able to, with the amount of crabs he's been putting out, he should be able to devote a little bit of extra stuff to air control. But it's no easy feat at all. Things over on this side of the map slightly quiet, but we've got a nuke launcher over on this side for Lynxmeus. Another wave of strap bombers thinking like they're coming in for a run, but account thinks better of it. Far too much danger from all those bangers. That's the thing, if the strap bombers are clumped, flak can be just as devastating to them as they are on gunships. If they, especially if you have one lead strap bomber coming in, they all fire up at that, then a clump behind it, and they hit the clump, and suddenly it's raining strap bombers, which is also a lot of mass you're giving to your opponent. They're not cheap, as we know. But another pass coming in this time, and this time they're going to get a solution on that lead monkey, sorry, not monkey, megalith, before the bangers get into range. He's had to keep the bangers kind of out of harm's way. But we've got a Novax, cheeky monkey, and he's building another one to pony at the back, so we've got some very, very queer play indeed. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. But yeah, they are the gayest thing. There's no two ways about it. Unreal. Look at him going after the bangers as best he can. Another wave of shockers coming in, and this lack of air control is just killing Team 2. They've got to get a handle on it. Too many ASFs out for account. Can't deal with all of these strap bombers. So many dead experimentals. Look at all that mass that nobody can get their hands on. Another group of strap bombers coming in. You can do with a few strap bombers on these hordes of bangers. It's actually primering the SAMs at the moment. You just didn't used to see that kind of play before the last patch. I'm glad that they've changed it. Makes such a difference. Now you can feasibly take these things out, and it's worth it because they are more deadly than they were before, which is the way it should be. Novax can now go after them with impunity, and that will really hurt Team 2. Actually not a bad build. Another Novax online. Actually don't know how much a Novax costs these days. What are we looking at here? So we're talking about 28,000 or so mass, but of course at this stage in the game, with the amount of experimentals these guys have been throwing about, it's no hardship to build a couple of those. It's not like the middle is in any real danger. They've got so much stuff to defend. They've got Fat Boys, they've got 4 GCs which are just on guarding detail, not to mention this Soul Ripper doesn't actually gain that many HP in the meantime. Could do with some reps. Another Fat Boy under construction in the middle, but we've got a Scathis that's gone down here on the right hand side for Just Rain. That's going to really speed up the tempo of the game. If that gets online, that will force Team 1 to be more aggressive. So much of this game they have been waiting for Team 2 to come to them, at least for the first half of it. And since they've made a few pushes themselves down here in the last 15 minutes or so, but it's never really broken onto this side. All of the real aggression seems to be coming out from account with those strap bombers. But what's really dangerous is the amount of ground they're managing to gain here, and if they can allow these engineers time to get their hands on these wrecks, it will surely be all over. Airlifts coming in now. These megabots need to get in to range these engineers. The question is, Do they have good intel coverage? Yes, they do. They should surely be aware, sorry, that this is going on. This is your game ending right here, guys. Get into it. Seriously. They need to get down there, and Just Rain is indeed dispatching his megaliths to try and range those NGs. But that Novak's not helping at all. In fact, dual Novak's taking out T3 power plants, and the ping goes down. They've spotted the Scathis, which is actually nearly built. It may be too late. They're going to have real trouble breaking through that shield coverage. All he has to do is pop another couple up around here, and they will be safe, at least from 2 Novaks. Don't do a lot of damage. It's nice to see, though. Nice to see the full range of units being used, but a strap bomber run coming in overhead. Could be going straight after Rain's ACU, which is what they're doing. Strap bombs going off. Just Rain down to 12,000 HP, slowing it down to -1. We don't want to miss anything here. We'll take a look at where this is going. Focusing in on the commander on the left screen. We'll keep an eye on this nuke on the right. Where is that going? Just Rain still alive. It looks like he's going, no, what are you doing? No! He's going to nuke his own mate's megaliths. Oh my god. Liximus says, oh shoot, in chat. He's not having a good game. They've managed to deal with the strap bomb threat, though. Lost a few shield gens, but the Scathis is online and promptly firing at the rear edge of the base. Probably wants to take out these Novak centers first, eliminate that. If he could get a lucky shot or two on the pony and take out the commander, that would be very welcome. It'd be very nice if you clear up all of this build capacity in the middle. But yeah, you'd think you probably have got that online quite a bit sooner. Just not built so many megaliths, which haven't actually been of any great use either. Focusing now at the edge of the rear edge of that base, hitting some of these fat boys. Still that one's alive, but you've got GCs heading south here from a count. One of them is basically living on borrowed time. He's on around 3,500 hit points. You can see the puddle of craters created by that Scathis. Not really going after the best ideal stuff. Needs to be focusing in on this section or in here. Probably going after Novak centers. A couple more like that will do it. Oh, shield goes up. Bam! Wham bam, thank you, man. Both Novaks down. Support commander down. T3 fusion down. But these GCs getting awfully close now. One of them is very nearly dead. Just Rain chilling down here under some pretty decent shield coverage. Megalith gets completed. Needs to target this one, though. Targeting the wrong one. Shields blinking on and off. Offering coverage. Down goes the right-hand GC. The other one's on around 50k HP still. Got Percival's coming in from Liximus. A strap bomber rush coming in as well, going straight after Just Rain's comm. He's got some shield coverage. Oh, but that takes him down to about 6,500 hit points. But another GC coming in as well. Fat Boy Fire coming in from across the way. I think this GC will just be taken care of, perhaps. Firing now, though, on the shield. Primarying the commander. Goes down as he goes into the red. Just Rain barely surviving. The question is, are there any strap bombers left? I don't think there are, but there is this GC. Could do with some more shield coverage as that one blinks on. Scathis still firing. Crab goes down. GC on around 55,000 HP, targeting the T3 power generator. That goes up. Another shield generator blinks back on, giving him some more coverage. But that coverage immediately goes, and surely this is over now. We've got 2 GCs in the complex, 2 more crabs, and Just Rain gets targeted. Kaflam. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Just Rain goes out of the game at minute 50. Very nicely played, and surely that is game for Team 1, considering they lost the team first to lose a teammate, I should say. Tiep going down very early indeed. There is another nuke very close to being built, but I think it's going to be too late. Could use it for close fire support, but even then that would only manage to take out one of these groups of things. We've got 3 fat boys up here, we've got 2 megaliths, 2 GCs, and any number of avenues of attack for these guys to come in now. The commander is up here, very nearly done on a nuke. Speed that back up to 0 speed, to normal speed. March of the experimentals. Actually, let's take it down and just take a look at it. It's a beautiful sight. That's what people who don't play this game are missing. How can you not want to play this game, guys? How can you not want to play this game? Nuclear missile is away, but surely it's too little too late as the last shield depletes. Fatboy Fire coming in on top of Linximus, or Linxmius' commander. It's going to probably take out a couple of crabs, maybe. They can actually tank it pretty well, but he goes down. It lands on top of those. It wouldn't have been enough anyway. Well played, Team 1, and thank you very much to Depony for sending that one in. Like I say, guys, doing my little bit of spiel. If you like this game, or at least you like what you're seeing, but you're not actually certain what it is you're looking at, the game is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. It's available on Steam for £10 or 15 US dollars. It was just on sale recently, I think for about £2 or something crazy. And all you need to do once you have the game installed, it doesn't matter if you have the physical retail edition or the digital download edition from Steam, all you need to do is download the Forged Alliance Forever multiplayer client. You can find a link below this video in the description at the top. And then you can come join us. You can play with all the mods. You can come chat with us in chat. It's a awesome community. I would go as far as to say it's the finest community I've ever been a part of. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the vids for this week. I may potentially have something unrelated to Subcom coming up over the weekend. Going to be getting into some League of Legends casting soon. But before you all scream and drop your trousers and start waving it around, basically, as always, you know, my primary focus is here, guys. I'm not going to be ditching Supreme Commander for anything else. Everything else I do will be extra stuff on top. So as and when I find time to do it, just in an attempt to get more focus from other communities, you know, grow the channel a little bit and hopefully bring more people to FAF. That is the purpose, always. So, as always, guys, in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.